How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Kick Report. And this is Nike's Sabrina 2. I know I'm late to the party on it. It was almost released almost a year ago from when I'm recording this, but I love the shoe. And not only do I have one pair or two pairs, but I actually have three pairs. Um, I've had a good amount of time to really kind of look at this shoe, kind of feel the shoe. All of these shoes are actually all different sizes. So this pink one here is actually a size 14. The one in the middle, the BYU colorway, is going to be a 15, and the black pair is going to be a 13 and a half. And I know this is crazy, but there are different things about each shoe that kind of gave it a different feel. And I'll get into that kind of when we get to kind of how it fits and comfort and all that type of stuff. Now, honestly speaking, I've worn a lot of different basketball shoes, and I give these an above average grade. I'd give them an 8 out of 10. Now, they have a 3-point or Cushionline 3.0 midsole, and honestly, I don't feel it all that much, except when I'm doing that type of movement and kind of really trying to press on the edge or getting in for a two-step dunk. But what I do feel is the forefoot zoom unit. Now that's just right underneath the ball of your foot, and it feels great, especially if you're like a 1-foot jumper and you quickly take off, or you're shooting and you're coming down from your shot. You definitely feel that underneath your feet, and it kind of gives you a nice reaction, a nice little rebound. One thing that's surprisingly comfortable is it almost like the plasticky cage on the upper of the shoe. It feels like a plasticky cage type when you scratch on it, but underneath it's like almost like a nice little cloth that breaks in really nicely. I felt those a lot in the black pair, the mirror colorway. Additionally, it has a really good heel lock, and throughout all the sizes. So if you're looking to get a pair when Nike eventually throws these on sale when the Sabrina 3s come out, you'll be in good shape no matter what size they have. I wouldn't recommend going too far away from your size. I would say the perfect size is true to size as always, especially for these. I would say if you're a player that has high mobility, or like myself, I'm a taller player, I like being able to move a lot. I recommend these for you. I wouldn't recommend it if you have ankle problems or anything like that, but you can wear an ankle brace with it. I did that for a little bit. But I would say the most comfortable pair was definitely the BYU colorway, or the blue and white ones, which are the size 15. Alright, now moving on to durability. Now, I had some pretty big concerns here. So I hooped in these for a couple months, and I haven't seen many signs, maybe a little bit on the bubble colorway, which is the pink one, but I noticed some ripping between, like right at the midfoot, on the upper, between the kind of like the harder plastic and the plastic wire near the fly wire lockdown, almost like right next to the swoosh. There was a considerable amount on the black pair, which I had for the longest. Now that could be due to the shoe being too small, or me hooping in it for a long time and really beating on them, but that was definitely something to look out for. It's not anything that's gonna like rip and bust the whole shoe open anytime soon, but of course you don't want rips in your shoes after a couple of wears. And other than some small things like kind of scuffing near, like, again, the toe box, but on the other side, and just some scrapes on the back of the shoe, which is honestly normal. Sometimes my feet hit each other when I run, so scraping on the swoosh isn't anything crazy. These are pretty durable. Now let's get into where these shoes really excel, which is the traction department. Now these feature a multi-directional herringbone. We got a little circle pattern on the bottom, and the multi-directional herringbone on the kind of the forefoot area. And throughout each pair I had, it was pretty consistent, except the black pair. Now I was playing on this is the LA Fitness court, and it's pretty clean. Right when I got there, they had just mopped or swept the floor, so I was getting an amazing level of traction, especially with the translucent sole of the bubble colorway, as well as the white colorway, or the BYU colorway. But the black colorway was giving me some problems. I noticed a little bit of slipping, which for me, it made it a little bit uncomfortable when it came to getting a reliable stop. I make hard cuts and really depend on the traction of my shoe. And if I don't have good traction, then I'm not having a good day on the court. Now, I would say through, at least for the two good pairs, the white and the pink ones, normal wiping on all courts, and you may not even need to wipe It's just that when you get on an extremely dusty court, you may have some problems there. But overall, if you just stay away from that black outsole, then you should be great. Alright, so moving forward, these retail from about 130 to 135. I would say keep an eye out. These are probably going to go on sale soon. I expect the Sabrina 3s to be coming out. She's probably more than likely getting an extra shoe, a third shoe, just because these are insanely popular. Some of the most popular NBA players are wearing them, like Tyler Hero, he loves them. I've seen Anthony Simons with a couple colorways. But in terms of where you can get these, obviously Nike.com, that's probably gonna be the most popular spot. Dick's Sporting Goods, Foot Locker, all those good spots. I will say though, keep an eye out for Nike clearance stores. Up against that back wall, I found the BYU colorway there for 40% off, and you know your boy loves a good discount. As for the Sabrina 2s, my rating is going to be an 8.7 out of 10. Obviously, they're not perfect. There's some things that I would want to change, but overall, they're a great shoe. I almost gave it a 9 out of 10, but I feel like it was a little bit too generous. If I could give this shoe a comparison to any other shoe I've worn before, it would be the PG3. I'm torn up that shoe went away, but the sleek minimalistic design, low cut, plus that 4-foot zoom unit, screams PG3 to me. But that's gonna be all for today, guys. I really appreciate you all for tuning in. This has been the Kick Report.